Hi class, I wanted to make a video to talk a little bit about your final paper. A lot of you have possibly never written about a work of art before. I did provide a resource in the learning module of week 4, and I also provided that link again in your week 8 learning module. But I thought it would be helpful for me to just kind of go over what it means to do an analysis of a work of art. So the first thing and the most important thing probably, is that it's really important to me that you actually go see this work of art in person. It's a very different experience to see a work of art online or in a textbook. It actually doesn't compare whatsoever. And I can usually tell when a student hasn't actually gone to see the work of art. It becomes pretty obvious in their writing, and also the image that they provide as part of the paper. So I actually want you to take a photograph of the work of art in the museum setting or the gallery setting where you go. For those of you who may not have like a major museum or galleries in your area, also think about a public art piece. You could do a sculpture or some kind of work of art that's out in the public space. That's a very popular thing right now, and most cities, even small places, have public works of art. So really go see it in person. If I suspect that you haven't gone to see it in person, I will probably mark your paper down and explain that to you. So I've taught this class quite a number of times, so I can kind of tell the difference. So I'm just throwing that out there. But so the requirement is that you see the work of art in person, and then what you're doing is, it's not a book report about the artist or even really about the work of art. It's an analysis of the visual elements that we learned early in the semester. So I think that was in week 1 and week 2. There were 2 chapters that you covered. One is called Principles of Design, and the other one is called Visual Elements. So what I'd like to see you do is to use the vocabulary and the terminology from those 2 chapters and do an analysis of a work of art. So I'm just going to do kind of a real quick one here for you to give you an example. So I found this print. This is a real print. It's actually a screen print that a friend of mine did. And it's very kind of fun and playful, and I just thought maybe I'd do a real quick kind of overview of what the different visual elements are. So this is a screen print image, and some of the visual elements that I see in it are repetition in the waves. So I see the blue waves back there that have repetition, and then a lot of the fish, I see a lot of repetition in them as well. The artist incorporated a lot of different color scheme techniques here. There is a nice variety of warm and cool colors, and there's a lot of contrast. So you can see there's lots of dark fish and then some fish that are lighter. So there's a high contrast between those visual elements and the white of the page. So the background, which is the piece of paper, is the white. And then there's a strong graphic elements throughout this piece. So, and then I can see some different rhythms that she was trying to set up. Like if you kind of let your eye follow the fish through the piece, you can see sort of one wave of fish here. And then there's various schools, and she clustered the fish in different ways to create a variety of texture and pattern. So that's just a very kind of superficial, like quick analysis of a pretty simple work of art. Now, hopefully you're going to a museum and you're going to see a masterpiece. You're going to see something really incredible. And when you talk about a painting like that, there's so much more to talk about. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea. So if I was going to write a paper about this particular print, I would describe those things and put them into writing, into paragraphs, and describe the work of art. So that's essentially what I'm looking for. I'm definitely not looking for a book report about the artist. In fact, if you do give me that, like one time I had a student submit like a 3-page paper about Picasso or Van Gogh. That's happened a couple of times. I don't actually accept it, so I will reject a paper like that. So you have to actually do the visual analysis of the artwork that you're looking at. So refer to those 2 chapters. Again, that was Principles of Design and Visual Elements. Those are their 2 most important chapters, and you've kind of been using them throughout the semester, whether you realized it or not. But there's a lot of great information in there, and you can put a lot of that vocabulary into your paper. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have questions.